Hey, Stephanie. Can you guys hear me? Sorry about the technical difficulty here. I'm trying to switch over so that everybody knows. If you can, okay, awesome. That's awesome. I had to switch over to my iPhone for some reason. I don't know if there's like a firewall blocking my my work laptop because I'm at the office, and so it would not let me do it. Hey, man, what's happening? All right, looks like the word is getting out that I had to switch over to this live stream here. So can one of you guys post the link into the group chat? Okay, awesome. Thank you. I'll just wait. I'll just wait a minute. Thanks for joining, guys. Let's see if this works here. I'll check over on here. Okay, yeah, looks like Gail is spreading the word. How's everybody doing tonight? What's up, Lucas? How you doing, man? Dude, you didn't make the LinkedIn local. Hey, Diana, what's happening? Or you did, and I didn't get a chance to talk to you. It was awesome, man. Tons of people there. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying that because. Thanks, Gail. I don't want to make you jealous, but it was a good time, man. We're gonna try to do another one in another like 2 months. And so for everybody else who is on the chat, you're probably like, what is he talking about? There was a LinkedIn local event that was happening in Seattle last night, and it was at this like really fancy apartment building. One of the people who put it on lives there, and so he had access to the 40th floor of the building, and the view from the roof was just epic. You could see like the Space Needle and like the Amazon spheres were right down below. So it's like kind of in the epicenter of everything downtown. It was really cool. You could see the water and everything. So. Oh no, Nina, hopefully you can get on here. Let's see. Let's see. Gail. Hey, what's up, Queen Ty? How you doing? We're slowly getting everybody on here. Sorry about the confusion. I told some of the people who joined early on that I think there was a firewall. I'm actually sitting at the office right now, and I think the firewall was blocking my access to go live from my computer. So so I had to quickly scramble and bring out the iPhone. Hey, what's up? FS Smiley B? F Smiley B? I can't say it. Hey, Charlene, what's happening? Hey, Laura. All right, looks like the word's getting out. I'll start in just a minute here. I think, Gail, once you think most people are in, just let me know kind of when to get started. Doing good, Charlene. Where do you live? Okay, spelling it out. Faye, nice to meet you. It's weird to talk to basically myself. I'm just like talking to chat and I don't hear anybody else's voice. It's kind of strange, but I'm making it work. Charlotte, all right, cool. Professor Gail, Charlotte as well. Anybody out of country? Oh, Charlene's a dean. Okay, crazy. Awesome. If my voice ever gets quiet, just tell me, go closer to the camera. But I don't want to like just jam my face into the camera and just kind of overwhelm the video here. Yeah, thank you guys for having me. I really, truly love this. This is definitely what I love doing. So just any way I can help out students is something I really appreciate. And I'll tell you why it means so much to me when I kick off here. Lucas, next meetup is going to be, well, actually, the next LinkedIn local is going to be, I think, in like 2 months. So they don't do them too often. But if you guys get an opportunity to go to a LinkedIn local event, I'm telling you, in whatever your city is, like if you just type in the Google search LinkedIn local, if there's one in your city in any, in the near term, definitely try to go because the networking opportunity there is incredible. It really is. More like relationship building than anything, but it kind of brings your virtual connections into the real world, and it's pretty awesome. I think somebody else had a comment here. Let's see. I might have missed it. Other people are not getting the link. I will try to text them. Okay, cool. So a couple people not getting the link. Thanks for hanging in with me, guys. I'm doing the song and dance here, trying to keep everybody on. Yeah, the DC. I heard the DC one is pretty awesome. A lot of professionals out there. Oh, cool, Queen Tai. Yeah. Is there anybody on here right now that is a subscriber that is not part of the program? Because I just went live, so I don't know who's on here. It might all be students, or it might be some other individuals as well. And Gail, you just tell me when to get started. You give me the alarm. I will kick it off. Do you guys want to see my office real quick? I don't know if that's exciting or not. It's not too exciting. Laura's like, yeah, sure, whatever. All right, let me see if I can, yes. All right, if the camera's really shaky, we'll see what happens here. All right, so this is one of our big conference rooms here. Not too exciting. I'll walk out here. We got a who or what is your game changer right there. People write on that board to kind of talk about that. And this is kind of this is like the hallway of the 9th floor. in our building. A lot of people kind of hang out at this long table right here. It's kind of like a communal meeting space. And another little communal meeting space right there. We got, let's see, coffee, Starbucks, and tea. But that's about it. That's about all we get, guys. Tea and Starbucks. Very frugal culture over here. Let's see. Walking down the hallway. Charlene's like, yeah, nice. All right. I walk down here. Laura, yeah, it works for me. They got these little like murals on the walls and stuff. It's got really like industrial looking in our hallways. And Gail, you just tell me when to kick it off. I'm just kind of passing time here. And then these are kind of like the cube areas where all the desks are. We allow dogs in here. So there's like all these like dog crate kennels everywhere, like right over there. All right, Gail's like, you can start, kick it off. Okay, I'm gonna run into the office right now, go to a quiet spot so we can kick it off. Thanks for watching, Queen Ty. All right. Bobby's in. Thanks, Bobby. All right. Okay, guys, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate the opportunity. Hopefully, I can deliver you a lot of value on the topic of LinkedIn. And yes, thanks, Gail. So there's two main things that I want to talk about, but I'll give you a quick bio about myself for those of you who have never met me before. And then feel free to just like fire off questions whenever you want. Like no question is a dumb question. Happy to answer anything that you have, even if it's just like related to Amazon. So I'll kick off real quick. The quick story here is that I had a electronics business when I was 21. I started an electronics business. It was like a little entrepreneurial venture that I kicked off as a school project, which then I wound up getting funding for, and started this little like 700 square foot retail electronics business back in 2002, which I ran for about 10 years. I grew that company to multi-million-dollar sales. I sold the company in 2012. Starting up an electronics business that was like smart home technology after that. I kind of poured all the money that I earned from the sale of the first business into the second business, and I thought it was going to go really well. Unfortunately, it did not go well. I lost all of my money, and I kind of was at this kind of like really rock bottom place trying to figure out my life. And so I didn't want to be an entrepreneur. What I wound up doing was I wound up just trying to reinvent myself. And I said, well, if I go back and get my MBA and I go to software development school, maybe that will help me land a job. And at that time, I found out I was having my first child. And so I really needed a job very badly because I had no money. I was working at Best Buy for $12 an hour at that point, trying to kind of, re-kickstart my life in my early 30s. I was fortunate enough to land a job at American Express as a senior product manager in technology at American Express. And then what wound up happening after that was I had this hypothesis that if I studied the LinkedIn strategies of how to really optimize my profile and really how to crush it on LinkedIn and build community through LinkedIn, that good things would happen. And what wound up happening was that Amazon called me out of the blue. I actually thought it was a spam message. And they asked me if I wanted a job. And they said, what would you, I asked them what I would be doing at the company. And they just said, well, don't worry, we'll figure it out. And so it's a really strange hiring process. and essentially I'm just in a division called Product Quality, and we help buyers not get counterfeit goods. And so we build a whole bunch of like machine learning algorithms and things to detect and eliminate the presence of counterfeit goods. And so that's the quick bio here. What I really want to talk about is two things, two main themes. The first is profile completeness on LinkedIn and why it matters. And the second thing is why it's so important to actively engage on LinkedIn. So those are the two main themes. And feel free to jump in with any questions that you have. The big stat, like the big sticking point with profile completeness is there's a couple different levels of profile completeness. You have beginner, intermediate, there's a couple other, advanced, expert, and all-star. And so an all-star profile is the most searchable. And according to LinkedIn, an all-star profile is 40 times more likely to be viewed by recruiters. The reason is because LinkedIn is a search engine primarily, and it's primarily used by the recruiters to look for candidates. And the main things that you need to do now, there's kind of a systematic approach to going through this, and once you go into the edit profile section of your LinkedIn profile, it'll tell you on the right-hand side what status your profile is. Like if it's a beginner, it'll tell you it's a beginner, and if you click on the little button underneath it, it'll tell you how to get to the next level. And there are essentially 7, I say 8 things that are critical components of being considered an all-star profile. And those things are the picture quality, not the picture quality, but having a picture in the first place, because the picture alone is the very first thing that people see. And that alone drives 14 times more traffic to your profile. So like just having a good quality picture is very, very important, if nothing else that you do on there. Second thing is your headline, which is essentially that title bar underneath the profile. It's 120 characters long. You really want to make sure that that's impactful. In my headline, I start off with my actual job titles. So I say Senior Manager of Product Management, Amazon, -man on a mission. And I can talk to you about what the mission is, what have you, but try to make it really impactful because it's the first thing people see under the picture. The next thing is the skills section. So whatever relevant skills that you have, that's really important to have on there. It's more like checking the boxes of things that you need within the profile. Then there is a summary section. The summary section is the big white space that is right underneath the headline. So it's picture, headline, summary section. That big white space is really critical to get right. You want to paint a narrative and sell yourself in that space and talk about your accomplishments, not tasks that you've done, not things that you were assigned to do, but any kind of accomplishments. Now, given that you are mostly students here, it can be accomplishments that you've done in class, right? Like a particular project that you're really proud of that you can post on the profile, something like that you're really proud of. Definitely share as much as you can to give color to who you are. The next thing is industry. Now, industry is a drop-down menu. Now this stuff is all really pretty self-explanatory, but it's definitely worth mentioning. Make sure you select the proper industry that you're going after, because when recruiters are actually searching for potential candidates, they are going to be going through the filtering criteria, right? They're looking for the specific industry based on the drop-down box. They're looking for the specific title based on search criteria. So those things are very, very important to have. Next thing is the education section. So whatever your relevant education section, fill it in there. There might be some GPA information that's relevant if you feel that's important as well. You could even put that in the summary section, which is that big white space. And then the last thing here is the connections. Well, second to last, I'll tell you what the next one is. Now, to be considered all-star status, you need at least 50 connections according to LinkedIn. Now, you can get those 50 connections fairly easily. They could be, student contact, things like that. If you go to one networking event, you probably can bang out 20 or 30 of those at least. There's another feature within LinkedIn that also allows you to download the contacts from Gmail as invites to LinkedIn. So if you had your email client for a couple years, or even your student email client for a couple years, you can grab some contacts from there and then do some invites from that. So I don't know if there's any questions so far. I can stop there for just a second and see, and if not, I can move on. Okay, no questions. All right, so profile completeness is super important, but the next layer of this is social proof. So on the social proof side of things, right, there's a couple different ways that you can establish social proof within your LinkedIn profile. One is through actively posting, kind of like articles, videos, things like that, right? What ideally that you should be thinking about LinkedIn as is not this static profile and thing that you just have to do. LinkedIn should be viewed, right? Like if you're thinking of the future of LinkedIn and what it could possibly bring for you, LinkedIn is a gold mine of connection. LinkedIn, if you are posting a relevant article for something that you're interested in, right? People are going to look at that article and see how well written you are and see how your thought process is, working in the written word. And also, when you write articles, those articles, as soon as you post them, they show up in the LinkedIn feed, right? That's the news feed. And so I don't know how familiar you are with LinkedIn, some of you on the platform, but as soon as you post, your post shows up at the top of the feed, right? As a couple days go by, more people start piling on and your post goes to the bottom, right? But I actively post videos on LinkedIn, and so I'm trying to do that once a week to stay on top of the feed. And each one of the videos that I post, within 1, 2, 5 days, I wind up getting between 2,000, 6,000, 9 or so thousand views in just a couple days. And so the eyeballs and attention that I get are absolutely priceless, right? The opportunities that wind up coming to me from this are priceless. Social proof is really important. You don't necessarily need to do video, but if you're posting any kind of articles, that can really help you. I think the next layer of this and where LinkedIn is really going is you have to think about LinkedIn as a community. And so what I spend quite a bit of my time doing in the evenings, on the weekends, I am actively reading and engaging with people's content and posts, just like somebody were to do on Facebook. And because I've done that, I have really built a community of people that I'm interested in, and they're interested in what I'm creating as well. And the really fascinating thing about this, I'll tell you a little story. So a few days ago, what I wound up doing is I just made a simple comment on the global head of product for YouTube Aviation. So essentially they're creating not YouTube Aviation, I'm sorry, Uber Aviation. So they're creating sky taxis, essentially, like a network of sky taxis. And I literally wrote on the post that he wrote, I said, this is absolutely amazing, so cool, thanks for sharing. Something along those lines. I forgot the exact verbiage that I said. And within a day, he wrote back to me and asked me if I wanted a job. So, you kind of flip the traditional apply and pray model on its head when you use LinkedIn the right way. And I think that's what's so incredible about the platform. So, any questions so far? Okay, nothing yet. No problem. I'll just keep on going. If anything comes up, just let me know. Okay. Kareem, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so yeah, the next layer of this, the first layer of this is just profile completeness. Do all the basic steps to achieve a status of all-star. Then you will start getting prioritized in search by LinkedIn. That alone is extremely valuable. The next layer of this is the social proof aspect. Whatever you're passionate about, if it's in written word, if you can post some articles, some snippets, it doesn't have to be long form. Remember, LinkedIn is a professional network, right? So people don't have a lot of time. The attention spans for people are low. You can post 100 words about something you're interested in. You could just share a really interesting article that speaks to you in whatever industry or vertical that you're interested in. And people see that activity, right? And if you're engaging with them and they're engaging with you, I feel that adds a layer of social proof to who you are and what you say you stand for in your summary section. And so somebody just commented, let me just see here. Let's see, chat. How do you find people to follow in the communities that you want to be involved with? Okay, that's a great question. What I first start doing is I literally just find people, when you're a student, you're probably looking for people within the companies that you're most interested in, right? So I would go after that first. Just if you're going after a product manager job or if you're in finance or something like that, just go after the companies that seem interesting and the roles that people hold, right? So if it's product management, search for those people at Google or Facebook or wherever you're trying to work and start friending them. And once you friend them or follow them, you're going to see their news feed. If you're truly interested in them and what they have to offer, a lot of the people are posting articles. And if you frequently comment on their articles, they're going to get that notification on their phone. That's the power of it, right? The minute you comment on somebody's post, if you're the first person or the fifth person, a lot of the posts on LinkedIn, because social media type content on LinkedIn is just getting started, there are these super prominent people on LinkedIn that post an article. Like Brene Brown will post an article, right? And like the first couple hours, nobody comments. And it's like, oh my God, I could be the first person to comment on this person's article and actually engage with them. And 9 times out of 10, they're gonna actually engage back with you on this platform because it's such an evergreen new territory. So find people that really speak to you, follow them, connect with them, and start kind of making some targeted comments on their posts. So the next thing, I really want to talk through a little bit of strategy here. So I'm really passionate about kind of breaking this mental model of I have to apply with a one-page resume to a black hole that I'm never going to get a call for. And it just doesn't work. Who's been your biggest connection so far? Okay, I'll get to that. I'll get to that in just a sec. So, when you're applying to a job, it's a total black hole. You may not know anybody in the company. And I did a test actually a couple months ago. I was like, okay, so I work for Amazon now. I would imagine that if I apply to 30 jobs, my hit rate would be pretty good, right? I mean, I'm applying essentially for the exact same role title that I have. The relevancy is really high. And so 30 days, I applied to 30 jobs. One company wrote me back, just one. And I was like, man, it's the same position I was in when I was doing my MBA and I was jobless. And now I have this job with this great title, right? And I should be able to just really get calls from a lot of people, and still I didn't. And so now what's funny is I am pulling recruiters into me. I am pulling them into my profile. They're viewing my videos. I'm commenting on their content, right? And I've now created community, and Uber's hit me up, Airbnb's hit me up. I had interviews with Google, right? And so, and these things all just came to me. Like, I just get calls or emails, and they're like, hey, do you wanna interview? And I'm like, absolutely, why not? So, so that really is kind of the beauty of where you can take it. If you spend even 10% of your time, it goes a really long way. And so there was a question on who's the best connection I have had. So I don't know if any of you know who Jay Shetty is. So Jay Shetty creates a lot of motivational content on YouTube, right? He's got millions of followers. He's absolutely blown up. And he posts stuff on LinkedIn that, because he's basically newer to the LinkedIn platform, and like people don't exactly know him cross-platform. So I found a couple of his posts and I wrote to him like, man, like I wrote some really insightful comments, right? And he commented back and liked my posts, right? So it gives you access to somebody that you would never imagine having access to through the LinkedIn platform. Yeah, Jay Shetty is definitely he's really awesome. If you guys don't know who he is, you should look him up. Shetty, Jayshetty. He's super motivational for sure, Lucas. Let's see, what am I missing here? The social proof side of things. The other things, so some people ask me about video content. I create a lot of video content through LinkedIn. I kind of cross promote. I put videos on YouTube and I put videos on LinkedIn. And what is really great about it is when I, if I engage with a recruiter or somebody, all I do now is I just lead them to my YouTube page and I say, I got 55 videos or however many videos I have now right now. If you want to get into my head and see how I think and see how I deliver myself, and the things I think about, the things I struggle with, what have you, they're all out there for you to see, right? Take it or leave it. And I think there's some fear associated with kind of like, oh my God, I would never wanna put video content out there on LinkedIn. Like, it's total foreign concept for me. But when you do it, there's kind of this infinite field of possibilities that wind up opening up to you. Like, a few months ago, I never thought I would speak in public, ever. And last month, because I went to a LinkedIn Local event and I've been actively engaged with the community, I got invited to speak at LinkedIn Local last night. And there was like 150 or so people at the event. It was a real honor for me to speak there. And somebody after the event asked me if I wanted to speak at another event. And so there's all these things that are coming my way that that just were like I never thought were possible. And so I like to think of the glass half full type of mentality when it comes to creating content. I'm not worried about the fear of putting content out there or negative comments or anything like that. I'm just fascinated by all of the amazing opportunities that could come. So I kind of have that mental model about it. So let's see, so I got a couple comments here. Hold on one sec. Let's see, we got John is speaking to us now because I reached out to him. Oh yeah, right. Right. So Gail found my YouTube channel, and the whole reason I'm speaking to you now is because she connected with me. So thanks very much, Gail. I really appreciate it. Let's see what else we got. Some people might not think of connection in such a big way. Let's see. That's what I got. No other comments at the moment. You guys have any other questions so far? Anything you want. Open book. I may have to pry it out of you. Gail, can you think of any? Oh no, no more. Okay. Well, guys, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Definitely feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, and if you want to chat sometime, happy to do that as well. Sometimes it takes me a few days to get back to you. Let's see. So I got a couple of questions here. What do you find is the most interesting type of content that you follow? So there are two methodologies that I deploy. I'm very strategic on LinkedIn. One methodology is in the evenings, during lunch, things like that. I am constantly friending recruiters because I want a massive bucket of recruiters in my connection network. And I friend them, for a student, you'd want to look up Campus Recruiter for Google or Campus Recruiter for Facebook, whatever the company that you're interested in. That's usually, the type of recruiter that you'd want to be friending or earlier on in the career. And if any of them actually engage with me, right, if they friend me back after I've created my all-star profile, right, and I have something I feel like I can show, if they friend back, what I usually do is I quickly look on the job site and I say, is there anything really interesting that speaks to me here? And if there is, I'll message them back and say, there's this particular job, thanks for connecting with me, there's this particular job, job ID number, whatever, and my background meets the job description perfectly, I'd be a great fit, would you be interested in speaking for 10, 15 minutes? 50% of the time that works for me. And so I think it's a really fun strategy. I just love the strategic side of this things. And then the other type of content that I actively engage with is the content that actually just speaks to me, right? So if there's motivational content like Jay Shetty, I will make sure that I put some really insightful comments on there because that's the type of comments or content that I really love, or any kind of career growth strategies as well. So recruiter side, and then the stuff that I'm super fascinated by. How do you look for a job on LinkedIn when you work someplace and you don't want your employer to know? That is a great question. So there is a feature in LinkedIn when you go and you edit your profile. There's a feature in LinkedIn that it's a little slider bar, and it says seeking opportunities, on or off. If you switch to seeking opportunities on, and mind you, mine is always on because I love having things come to me because I'd rather say no to something, have the opportunity to say no after I've heard out what it is. But your employer does not get to see that thing. So it will not show that you're looking to any recruiters from Amazon, for example, if I have that flipped to on. So that's one way to do it. Some people say, in their actual title of their profile, seeking opportunities. I typically like to stay away from that. I rather do it behind the scenes and kind of network behind the scenes. Another great strategy to kind of bring the virtual into something that's tangible is if there's somebody that you find really interesting, I think, like when you're in a student world and you are kind of trying to feel out, you might say, like, being a software engineer would be the ideal thing for me, right? And like working at this company would be the ideal thing. What's awesome is that I could reach out to that person, and I'm not hard selling anything. All I'm doing is saying, I love your background. I aspire to be doing something like what you're doing. Would you be interested in having coffee on me? I promise to time box it to 30 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever it might be, right? Time boxing is nice because in corporate America, people are like, I don't know what I'm getting into here. If it has to be like 2 hours, I can't do it. So that's a really good strategy to deploy. If you're looking to kind of feel out the certain roles within companies that you believe would be awesome, to kind of dip your toes and say, well, actually, that person said they hate their job and they hate the company, so I might stay away from that. Let's see. So I got a couple other comments here. Let's see. When creating content on LinkedIn, what advice can you give to someone who wants to post their first video? Okay, yeah, great question. So there's a lot of fear wrapped up into, oh my God, I'm going to put myself out there, right? When I first started my YouTube channel, I was absolutely, utterly terrified to put myself out there. I had to get over it really quick because I look at it as people are going to be nasty no matter what. I can tell you that LinkedIn is a really nice platform. Like, people are encouraging and super nice. Every once in a while you get kind of like a random comment, but that's okay. On YouTube, people can be more hater-ish, but I like to kind of frame this whole thing as I want to have enough hater comments that I could do a Jimmy Kimmel, John Marty reading mean tweets episode. So I try to brush it off. Another tip on that is people like 1 minute, maybe 2 minute videos. So keep it kind of short and to the point. If you have a tip or something insightful, put it out there. And if you do your first LinkedIn video, the thing that gets a major boost in viewership is putting the hashtag LinkedIn video. My first LinkedIn video. I believe it's my first LinkedIn video. And then also do hashtag LinkedIn video, and it gets a major boost. And people will be like, hooray, good job. You'll just see like how all these people will just be like, yeah, go. So community is pretty good in that realm. Let's see, Laura, all-star status with no movement, realizing the number of connections. Let's see here, the chat went away. Let's try it again. All-star connection with no movement, realizing the number of connections matters, not if there are no results. I'm surely learning quite a bit. I find myself updating on a consistent basis. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely try to, keep it fresh on there. I'm always updating the job title, when new job titles come along. Let's see, there's a couple other comments here that I will go to. Let's see. How do you look for a job in when your workplace and you don't want the employer to know? Yeah, I saw that one. What about groups? Okay, so there are things called LinkedIn pods. And you can create like a chat message group. So I've done that. I was invited to a particular chat message group, and we're all content creators, and we all support each other on LinkedIn. And so, if you can band together with a couple people who are dedicated, you got to do enough networking to kind of find the right group or whatever your niche is. But it's really helpful, each time you're creating a video or an article or something along those lines, you could dump it into the message group, and then all of your, friend group kind of, comment and post, and it helps extend your reach for anything that you're putting out into the world. Let's see here. How do you look for jobs? Let's see. What about groups? How do you find out about LinkedIn locals coming to my area? Yeah, there are, as far as LinkedIn locals coming to the area, if you literally just look up like LinkedIn local DC, there'll be that'll come up on the first page of results. You should find it really quickly, and they're blowing up. So, how often would you recommend someone should post content to stay on top? Yeah, some people are really aggressive. Like they post daily. I wouldn't be able to handle that. My strategy is once a week. Some people separate it out like this. Like they'll do a 1 minute video and they'll put a short blurb article with that 1 minute video. That's kind of what I wind up doing, like 1 to 3 minutes. And then maybe on Wednesday you might share an article, right? Or on Friday, you might post like an insightful comment about something, or like 100 words or something that you're thinking about that day. So you get into that kind of mentality. It might take you 5 minutes to post something insightful on Friday. It might take you an hour to post something insightful on Monday, and maybe like 20 minutes. So you're not investing a massive amount of time, but you're staying on top of the feed. And I think that that's really valuable. And when you do first start putting content on LinkedIn, you'll notice you may not get anybody that's liking your videos, or your articles at all. Don't get discouraged. It's funny, I've been on YouTube for 2 years now, and it takes most people like 5 or more years on the YouTube platform to like gain any real traction. And on LinkedIn, it may take somebody like 6 months to a year to start kind of gaining traction. And where that traction comes from is you first delivering value to other people, right? You're putting your comments on other people. They're kind of noticing that you're there on the platform first. And then from there, when you put articles out, they're gonna also, put comments on your content as well. So it does take a little time, but have patience. And if nothing else, the social proof aspect of this is probably the most critical, because if you can direct an employer to the body of work that you've done and the way you think before an interview even happens, they can do their research on you and figure out if you're a great fit beforehand. And it just kind of eliminates a lot of the small talk stuff that would have been trying to establish, like, who is this person? Do I even really want to like bring them in? Yeah. Any other comments, guys? Well, hopefully I delivered you guys some value in this. That the key takeaway is, don't think that LinkedIn is just this static platform, and think of it as kind of this next layer, this next wave of social media that's happening, and right now is a time that essentially, I heard that there was only 1% of people on LinkedIn using LinkedIn video right now. So you have 500 million members, and 1% of them are using video, which is an insane opportunity if you're trying to jump in and try to create content. Let's see, Gail, thank you. Let's see, is it okay to post content that has humor, or should it not contain humor? If that is your personality, then absolutely contain humor, right? If there's always going to be people who like you and people who don't like you. All you're trying to do is find people who think the way you think, and they will be attracted to that. So be yourself. And I think that that's the most important takeaway. Do whatever speaks to you, and if humor's that thing, then I think it's perfectly acceptable. Let's see, what else? Guys, thank you very much. If you have any questions, reach out to me directly via LinkedIn. I will be happy to help you along your journey, and maybe we'll catch you on another YouTube Live coming up soon. Thanks, everyone.